If we revisit something that you mentioned earlier about the medical licensing, this fear of if I report on my medical licensing application or answer this question and something's going to happen to me being able to get my license, is that a real fear or not? What have you seen in your experience?
I think it's a very real fear. And actually, the way that I was alerted to this was a Facebook conversation between some people, and somebody in another state had said, hey, my friend's boyfriend just wanted some advice. He's seeing a psychiatrist and the licensure says this. So what should he do? Should he ask for a letter? And so it complicates things. It's kind of another thing that you need to worry about. But in 2018, the Federation of State Medical Boards issued recommendations saying that all licensures, all states should limit the mental health questions just to conditions that result in impairment and limit it to the last 2 years and use supportive language. So I think there is some change in that way, but I do think that it is still a barrier that we really need to address, because if you talk about on the clause, like, is there anything that would impair you from practicing medicine, then that's a conversation between you and your doctor. So like when I worked during my radiation, I had a conversation with my doctor about if I was still going to be able to work. And so that was a personal health conversation. And that's what I think needs to be for mental health as well. Not that you have to declare it and then jump through another hoop. And it's just another stigma.
Yeah. And I agree 100% with what you're saying. So say you say yes on the
Yes.
application. What happens?
That varies by state. And I think that in some states, if you say yes, then you have to get a letter from your psychiatrist or your therapist and then submit that to the board. I believe there might be some states that maybe you have to have an exam from somebody that they designate. So I think there are things that happen after that if you mark yes.
There are potentially real consequences in terms of delays in you being able to renew your license if you say yes.
Yes, definitely.
Which is all the more reason why these types of questions need to be eliminated from these license applications.
Yes. And I just renewed my license for Kentucky, and I'm proud of Kentucky. It basically said, is there any impairment that you have that would keep you from practicing medicine? And I think that's the right terminology.
And it's true. If you are on certain medications that would, potentially impair your ability to, say, operate or whatever, then that needs to be known. That's a patient safety issue.
Yes.
But other than that, it's your own personal health. Think about HIPAA.
Yes. So I think that we have to have those questions on the licensing. Is there anything that would impair you from practicing medicine? I think that's a very important question. I just think that we need to be treating mental illness like the other questions.
For us, by us, and just for us, this is Hope for Med.